doll.
Hey, bud. How are you doing?
Ugh,
You don't like that?
I hate it. Absolutely fucking hate it.
Hold on. Let's try it again. Hey, Rosebud.
No.
Hey, bud.
No.
I like Bud.
No.
Bud, personally, I really, really like. I mean, Rosebud, obviously, it stands for Rosebud. But I think Bud is the perfect loving nickname.
No.
This is what happens when we have car conversations and then you bring up a good point. Good point is that a nickname has to mean something to you for the person you give it to.
Right. Like I call you doll.
Right.
But that
I would never have chosen that for you to call me that.
No, but it just happened one day and then I liked it, so I stuck with it.
And it means something to you.
Yeah. I don't know. It just fits.
Like Bud for me.
But see, Bud is
Not like buddy, hey pal, buddy.
Yeah,
No, Bud,
no,
like Rosebud.
No.
Hey, Bud.
No. See, this started because you decided to call everybody babe or baby or...
Only the people I care about. Sweetheart, pumpkin.
Yeah.
Nicknames.
And I didn't really appreciate it. I
That's
wanted
fair.
to be called something...
You wanted your own unique nickname and something that is actually really meaningful.
But I hate the movie that you got it from.
Citizen Kane?
Yeah.
You don't know. It's one of the
I don't
most critically
care.
acclaimed movies. But it has this really special meaning. For any of those who haven't seen Citizen Kane, sorry to get sidebar right off the bat without even doing our intro yet. We'll get there. Don't worry, audience. We will get there. But Citizen Kane is about a very wealthy man who has a large amount of companies back in the 30s and 40s.
You can Google it.
Okay. Well, you basically, you learn about this character and you're kind of like, what is the motivating factor? What drives him? What's really, truly important to him? And at the very end of the movie, you see all these possessions that he has, but there was this one thing he kept from his childhood. And it is a snow, what do you call this thing you fly down the hill on?
A sled.
Yeah, Jesus Christ, sorry. A sled that he had that had Rosebud was the name on it. It was like that one, I think it was where he was ultimately the most happy as a human being is when he was a kid and he was doing this. So you're my Rosebud because that's how I feel about you. And you don't have to you don't have to understand that. That's for me.
I'm not going to answer to Bud.
Well, that's fine. You don't have to, but that's my nickname for you.
No.
So
I don't accept.
that's fair. Thank you everybody for joining today. We got a wonderful, wonderful show planned. See, and here's the thing, guys, right? Marriage. Right? It's not perfect for anybody. We could get on this camera and we can act like we've got it all figured out till the fucking sun, blows up. But in reality, sometimes we even have trouble even just talking about picking a nickname for each other, and it brings up resentment and animosity.
We've been together for like 13 years, and I now all of a sudden, I just wanted to stop calling everybody babe.
I call my brother babe.
It's just ridiculous. It's gotten out of control lately.
Well, and I don't say babe to like just a random person. I say it to people I care about. But I'm trying to think off the top of my head, besides our kids and Connor, who else do I say it to?
All of our friends.
It was one slip up. It was one slip up when I was leaving a voicemail for Aunt Jess, and I don't know why it just popped out.
Your sister-in-law.
Okay, yes, my sister. Yeah.
My sister. You call everybody babe.
That's not everybody. That's like 6. There's how many? There's like 8 billion people in the world.
I'm just saying.
It's fair.
You've gotten on like a kick of calling everybody babe, and it's frustrating.
That's fair. Well, and I'm trying my best.
Like you flirt with everything, so just
I don't
leave one thing for me.
It's not true, and this is one thing for you. You wanted me to actually take my time. See, and I think that's
you didn't take your time. It was like 5 seconds in the
I've
car.
actually thought about that. I think about that movie all the time and what that represents. Movies are really important to me. They mean something to me, and so. Yeah, I can just throw out babe like it's nothing. It doesn't mean anything. It means, I care, but it isn't anything I've put any time or thought into. I actually had thought about that. I've actually put time and thought about that.
Okay. Well,
so I know you're not happy with it.
No,
but,
I'm really not.
Well, we'll talk about it in another 13 years and hopefully it'll grow on you.
I'm just going to not answer it.
That's fine. Well, I'm still going to call you it.
No.
Yep. It's going to happen.
No.
But we do have a wonderful show, everybody. And thank you guys so much for joining and tuning in and all the subscribing we've gotten since the last time we were on the phone. Obviously, it's been a little bit since we've put out an episode. And that is because, Emily had surgery just recently. And so she's been on the mend and so great to have her back. And it is, I missed you very much, regardless of our dumb little arguments that we have at times. I missed you. It is so good to have you back. And we have such a one.
We've been home together.
Yeah, but like you've been in a drugged up coma for like, you've been fucking doorsing it for like, 2 weeks now. So now you're kind of, you're feeling better, or not 2 weeks, I should say over a month. You're feeling better. Things are getting better. It is so good to have you back at a normal spot. I have missed you very, very much, bud.
Okay. I've missed you too. Love you. God, it's so annoying.
I'm sorry. You'll get used to it.
No.
We've got a fantastic show, but hold on. Before I get back into that, returning, welcoming back the, I think, best mother in the whole wide world. One of, statistically, the best wives on paper, the matriarch of the motherfucking Miller family, Emily Miller. Yeah, I won't do that. But no, we got a great show for you guys today. We are going to be, diving right back into another segment of Do We Have to Talk About It?
Yep.
We're going to be talking, we've got multiple questions. Yeah. So we definitely have plenty for the next, I think, multiple episodes to kind of dive in and discuss. And guys, thank you again so much for all your questions. Keep them coming. We'd love to provide any feedback that we can and help in any way possible.
Just know we are not professionals. So take bits and pieces, what you want, what you don't want, throw away.
Yeah, I mean, we're just trying to give...
We cannot say this is...
Unless it helped you, then legally
medical,
we
psychological
helped you. Okay, we legally helped you. If things are good and you're like, God damn, Sean and Emily's advice or their story put me on the right track.
Absolutely.
Then that means legally, medically, spiritually, philosophically, we did that. And if it doesn't work out or if it goes the wrong way, we have no legal disclaimer. We did not do that. That's 100% on you guys.
Legal disclaimer. We don't have.
You can learn from us, right? We were just bickering 2 seconds ago about a nickname. We
will continue to bicker.
We will continue, I assume, to discuss this, but it's going to be the way it's going to be. So just, again, learn right there from there. You're like, I'll probably navigate the nickname thing a little bit differently than Sean and Emily. And so learn from us, right? I've
been calling you doll for like 13 years. And that is yet to change.
I don't hate it, but it's not anything I would choose for me. If I were thinking about something, it's like, what's that thing in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? What does she call him? Kroll the warrior? Or is that her dog?
That's the dog.
Yeah, what does she call him?
Kroll the...
No, you just said the same thing. You just said the same thing that you said the dog was.
Oh, like what does she call Matthew McConaughey's character? Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Okay, well, it's something emasculating. And it's not that doll's emasculating. Not that I care. I'm not like, He-Man, I've got to be fucking tough because I need a tough name. I don't need a tough name. But that's not
trying to emasculate him because
I'm aware
she's trying to win the bet.
All I'm saying is that doll would not have been my first choice, but it's something that's important to you. And you're right. You only call me that, and I do appreciate that. So that's why I wanted to return the favor, but it has to mean something to me. You don't get to just own that whole process. It has to mean something to me, and that's what it means to me. So we'll go from there. Where was I at?
You're not winning votes.
But yeah, no, do we have to talk about it segment, guys? We do really appreciate all the interaction and activity that we got. And again, I know I've said this before, but blown away. I mean, I continually get blown away by how much and how often folks are trusting us with talking about things that are really personal to them. So please continue to provide that information to us. Keep submitting questions. Go to our website at dowehavto.com.
Be relationship questions either.
That's a good point.
Parenting questions or, stuff about us. Like they don't have to.
They could be anything. You could ask us. You can ask us anything about anything. You can ask us about sports.
For God's sakes.
You could say, for example, this is just an example. Sean and Emily, how did it feel watching the Chiefs get blown out of the Super Bowl the other evening? Did that crush your soul in any type of way? Love the show. You can end it with love the show. I would prefer that.
Jeez,
so, and to answer your question, anonymous caller, it hurt. It hurt a lot, but we're Kansas City Chiefs fans. It was a fucking great season.
Yes.
When your starters are playing, you've only lost one game. You lost it to the team that you ended up beating in the AFC Championship. It's just a bad day at the office. I feel for those guys so much. Absolutely. Patrick and Travis.
I would never want to go on that platform, like Super Bowl game, and have the amount of pressure that they had walking in.
Well,
I don't know that any team has ever had that amount of pressure walking into a game of any kind.
Well, nobody's ever been in that situation before in the Super Bowl era.
The Chiefs made history just by making it
to the Super Bowl after winning 2 straight. You're right.
Yeah. Yep. So like, kudos.
I just wish for them it could have just been a better outing, but these fucking things happen. And guess what? Honestly, at the end of the day,
it doesn't change the fact that I'm going to still wear my 8,
and we watched every minute of that game.
15,
and that game was over pretty close to halftime.
Like,
so
yeah, like I'm still a Chiefs fan.
I enjoyed the ride.
I'm still going to cheer for them now and in the future. Now, if, Travis screws up and dumps Taylor, then that might have to change. But, we'll get there.
Yeah.
When that...
No, I completely agree. And here's the thing too, and I think Patrick said this really well after the game, was that this is something that will stick with him in his career, but it is something that will be a positive, that he will use this to motivate himself. And I think that's something that everybody can take away. We're all going to have a situation where life blows us out. God, it sounds weird to say that, but and things aren't working over and over again, and we try our best to try to correct course, and it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Those are defining moments, but those are defining moments that usually lead to something positive if we allow it. So I really appreciate
anybody that walked into that game thinking that it was going to be easy.
No, that Philadelphia Eagles team, they were the best team in football. They were amazing. Shout out to Philadelphia. Congratulations on your guys' Super Bowl win and avenging a loss that happened two seasons prior to that. They were amazing. That defensive line. I mean, well, and I shouldn't even, it's not just the defense. I know they got so much tout, but man, the linebacking core, that whole team was very complete, and Sirianni is a great coach. Yeah. It was an awesome display that even if you're a Chiefs fan, you have to appreciate it. And I think most of us do here in town.
I will never cheer for.
I didn't say cheer, but I think most people appreciated the display of athleticism and how they played as a team. I mean, to be at that level, to be playing the best team in the American Football Conference and to blow them out the way you did, that's something not to shake your head at. And it wasn't a fluke. I mean, they just came out and beat our ass in all 3 phases of the game for pretty much all 4, except for like the last half of the fourth quarter. And by that time, it's an argument can be made that they're not playing the same way. We got a couple garbage touchdowns. People could say that. I think I appreciated the fact that we never quit and that we continually fought. I think it was something admirable to watch on television. And it was really cool to see also on social media how much everybody was saying, well, I'm still watching the game because, guess what? Everybody can say whatever they want, but Patrick Travis, there's 30 other fucking teams in the NFL and fans that wish their team was there getting their ass beat by 20 plus points. So we appreciate you guys for fighting all season long and getting to the Super Bowl so we could enjoy it. Now, I do owe an apology before we get into this Do We Have to Talk About It segment and talk about our last segment we're going to talk about today, because I know you've been waiting for that. I owe an apology.
For what?
A really serious one.
Okay.
2 apologies, specifically.
Okay.
I made a huge mistake. Probably the biggest mistake I've ever made since we've been married. And I got to get it off my chest. Okay?
Okay.
Can we do that? All right.
I don't know that we should have that conversation.
We take Papa Ron out for various errands prior to the weekend of the Super Bowl. What was that, on Friday? Not Friday. The evening, Thursday maybe, or evening Friday. One of those days.
Friday.
Prepping for the Super Bowl. And we're getting snack-ons and getting all those sorts of things. And we drive by the liquor store to get Papa Ron Old Style, because Papa Ron likes Old Style.
Okay.
And I walked in, and there's just a big section of garage beer just sitting right there. And I walked right past it, because I said to myself, you know what? I know I've been drinking garage beer, not only on the show, shout out to garage beer, not only on the show, but also for every Chiefs playoff game that we've had. That is what I've drank, is what I'm doing. And I'm very superstitious.
Yeah, you wore the same outfit like every game.
Every game. But what was the one thing I did not do on Super Bowl Sunday? I did not fucking drink garage beer. I drank Tanya, which is a Nicaraguan beer.
Yeah, you and your brother randomly.
We both, without even talking to each other, we selected the same beer we've never drank before from the liquor store out in Liberty.
So this
and
is
I did
your
not drink
fault.
garage beer. And so not only did I not support Travis and Jason, but I did not support the Chiefs because I did not stick with the game plan that had brought us all the way to the Super Bowl. So if everybody who is bagging on the play of the players, look no further. I feel like I own a piece of responsibility in this, and I need to apologize to the fans out there, the fans of the Do We Have To show, the Do We Have To crew, but specifically the Kansas City Chiefs and Travis and Jason Patrick, because I feel like I doomed us.
I drank my coffee.
Yeah, I know. But that's the thing. I fucked us. I jinxed us. So thank you, Emily, for letting me get that off my chest.
You're welcome.
And hopefully we can grow from this, and hopefully you guys can trust me again.
I don't know. That's a big one.
Yeah. And we're going to finally round up our show today with the segment of all segments, what we've been waiting for. Some say maybe the most groundbreaking news story in the history of news. That is Emily's Bridgerton sex scandal. We are going to talk about it. We're going to dive into it. You guys are going to learn about what Bridgerton is, and you're going to learn about what makes Emily's clock tick.
No.
Absolutely. We're going to dive right into that today. But first, we are going to jump right into our Do We Have to Talk About It segment. Who's our sponsor for the Do We Have to Talk About It segment?
Kylie
Emily.
Willis.
Kylie Willis. Yes. Let me grab my paper because I didn't grab it earlier. She is a real estate agent that is licensed in both Kansas and Missouri and brokered out of Keller Williams. Kylie loves to work with clients all over the Kansas City metropolitan area, the Missouri area, the Kansas area. She helps buy and sell homes. She understands that that's an important step in life. And when it comes to choosing a realtor, she knows that you need one who takes your home investment as seriously as you do. Combining over her 15 years of sale and marketing experience, dedication to her clients, fun personality, I can attest to that, and outstanding customer service skills with Keller Williams Real Estate, Kylie provides a one-stop customizable shop for all your real estate needs and a commitment to your 100% satisfaction from start to finish. A portion of all sales transactions goes to animal rescue charities. Specifically this year, she is working with KC Pet Project. So if you sell or buy your home, you're also helping KC Pet Project. I think it's a win-win. You can follow... That's right. Absolutely. And you can follow her or contact her on Instagram at Kansas City Kylie. She's also got a website that's going to be coming out here in a couple weeks. And as soon as it's available, we will make sure and provide that to through all of our socials and through our YouTube channel, all that good stuff. And you'll be able to contact her directly there. Also, not to pressure anybody at all or push Kylie by any means. However, if you do buy a home or sell a home, or maybe it's sell. I don't know when we started getting it, but she sends out during Christmas time the best Christmas wreath. She does. Of all fucking time. And matter of fact, I look for houses to recommend for her to sell just to make sure that I told Emily, having her as a part of the show, I'm going to make sure and ask her that we continue receiving our wreath, even if we aren't buying or selling homes with her. That wreath is amazing. It's real. It is majestically green, and it makes your whole house smell like Christmas. And that's just one thing that Kylie does. And matter of fact, speaking of Kylie, part of our dessert that we offered on Super Bowl Sunday was crumble. And Kylie always makes sure and sends cards and, around birthday time or on the anniversary of when we bought or sold our home. It's the type of person that she is. We get cards from her in the mail randomly all the time. And sometimes there'll be a lotto scratcher in there when we sold our house. There's crumble gift card on my birthday. So we were able to provide some delicious dessert at Super Bowl Sunday. And that was because of Kylie. Yeah. And we haven't done shit for her. As far as besides obviously she's a sponsor of the show, but we haven't done shit with her as far as giving her inventory to sell or buying something from her. And here she is taking care of her Super Bowl Sunday dessert.
Yeah, no, she's awesome.
She is the best. So thank you, Kylie, for being a sponsor of the show. Guys, if you're selling a home or if you're wanting to buy a home, reach out to Kylie. Again, she's super Kansas City Kylie at Instagram. Yeah, she is. She's fantastic. And reach out to her. And she's also on the Keller Williams side as well. Yep. But reach out to her on Instagram, shoot her message. And here pretty soon in a couple weeks, she's going to have her own website that you'll be able to reach out and contact her just like you do for us at dowehavето.com. Yeah. Okay. So time. Let's do we have to talk about it? Emily, you want to jump into the first one?
I don't know. Did we do a proper intro?
For what?
I don't even think we did.
For the Do We Have to Talk About It?
Yeah.
I just did. I talked about Kylie.
We didn't introduce Colin, our executive producer.
Oh shit! You mean the show? Yeah, you're right.
like
That's embarrassing. I didn't do the show. Yeah,
Colin deserves a shout out.
You're right. I'm sorry. Let's just back up for a second.
Actual Family Studios production needs a shout out.
See, this is where it's good. You're jumping in. You're fixing these things. Go ahead. See, now that you're back, I'm fucking things. This is classic marriage right here. I've been running the ship on myself. I'm running on fumes. Now I'm fucking up the intro.
This is Do We Have To?
A marriage podcast.
I'm your host, Emily.
And I'm Sean. It's a not actual Family Studios production. Executive producer, Colin Schmedium Maskell. We call him Schmedium because Colin works out. And if you've ever known Colin, you ever see him, hopefully at some point on this show, you will see him, even though he's reluctant to get in front of the camera. I wouldn't say scared. I'd just say reluctant. He's a beautiful speaker. He's got a perfectly classically chiseled jaw for film, so he really should be on camera, but he does work out quite a bit, and he likes, even though he doesn't act like he cares about that or like tries to project that, he definitely likes it when people notice it. So he does wear a shirt that is definitely in between the medium and the small size, which I call schmedium.
Yeah,
he's our executive producer, and that is our show.
Yeah.
So do we have to talk about it now, Emily? Yeah. Do you feel like we're good as far as, and we're ready to jump in?
Like
I'm sorry about that.
We can do this.
Okay, let's do it.
I want to go back really fast. You said you had 2 things to apologize for.
Well, 2 apologies to make. And one was to Garage Beer, which obviously is Jason Travis as well, because they have partial ownership in it. And then the other one is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Get it in there. Okay, so we've got 2 sets of questions. The first one.
2. I thought we had 3.
Well, technically there's 3, but I think like 2 of them kind of go together.
So we'll kind of ask them at the same time. Okay. Yeah.
Bundle.
Did people give their names? You actually, and it's been awesome. Obviously Emily's been on the men, but even though she's been on the men and basically like fucking Christian Slatered almost every day, that means drugged up. Just kidding. Sorry, Christian. Just joking around. I love you and I love all your movies. Even though that's been happening, probably not. Even though that's been happening, Emily's been taking over doing duties like writing the show, which is probably why the show will be better today. And all these sorts of duties that have been very helpful in making sure that we were able to jump right back into the podcast. So,
yeah.
Go right ahead, Pumpkin. I'm sorry.
So this first one that we're going to pop into for the Do We Have to Talk About It?
Read it, bud.
Is from Tiffany.
Ooh, Tiffany. I like that.
She sent us a question that says, her message was, local to Kansas City girl, love the show, and go Chiefs. Yeah, see, she's cheering. She's going.
Well, judging, I imagine we got this question during the playoff run.
Probably. But
I don't think anybody in Kansas City had a good Super Bowl, but I'm sure she had a great time.
Out for the count. Super sorry, everyone. I was wondering, do you guys think 40 minutes to an hour is too far to have guests travel for a wedding? The venue I'm in love with is 40 minutes away from family and friends. However, they gave us a great deal, and I can't seem to find one near me that I love the same. Someone told me that it's too far to have people travel after they've been drinking, but I don't feel like that's my responsibility. Well, let me tell you what, Tiffany. It is definitely not your responsibility.
Oh, you made me snort.
Sorry. 40 minutes to an hour is not too far to have somebody travel for your wedding.
Is this a real question?
Yeah.
Okay. This is interesting. Keep going. No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. This is weird to me. That seems like a joke. Okay, go ahead. Keep going.
No, 40 minutes to an hour is not a problem because they're going to have plenty of notice with
I'm just trying to
something
think
called
of
an invitation. And they have the choice to either accept or deny. And they're adults. And so I think they should be able to handle themselves in an adult manner. And there's also these things called car share, Uber.
She's in the Kansas City area, right? There's nowhere an hour. Like, I'm trying to think about where the fuck this wedding is, but like
the only place I can think of is maybe like Powell Gardens. But if that's your venue for your wedding, take it, go for it. If you got a deal, by all means, it's beautiful, like absolutely. And it's your wedding, Tiffany.
It's fucking insane. So putting it, you know me, I always, there's more to anything always, right?
Yeah.
I put my detective hat on while I was intently listening to you. And actually, while you're talking about that, it made a couple things pop in my mind.
Yeah.
Whoever said this to Tiffany is somebody of vital importance in the wedding, meaning that likely it is somebody that has some sort of potential financial influence on what's being done. Because in my mind, unless you have some sort of control over what's happening, like you have some sort of input, this question doesn't even come up, because Joe Schmo or fucking cousin Ricky saying, "Well, I'm gonna get fucked up. I need somewhere I can," assuming that would not matter.
But this is also Kansas City, so like there's hotels everywhere.
I know that, but my point is that somebody that's involved in the wedding. So my thought is it's either her parents or the in-laws have voiced some sort of opinion about this, which has caused some sort of inner turmoil to even ask this question in the first place. So there are waters to navigate. So I think she's kind of asking this question twofold. I need to be validated. This is not that far, right? This is not a big ask. That's the first question. And to your point, absolutely. You are valid. An hour to 40 miles, it sounds like to me 40 miles, but for some people, meaning that there was some specific person that they're worried about or some specific family that's going to bitch about it, is over an hour away from that, right? Mm-hmm. That's exactly, I'm just trying to break this down and understand this question. Because Tiffany asked it in a very nice way, where there's probably a lot more meat to this than what the question's allowing us to see. And rightfully so, because you don't want to bash on anybody, and I get that. So with that, there's a logistical problem, sounds like, for somebody important to the wedding, meaning probably somebody that's helping in some sort of way is doing it. But if it's within budget, which it sounds like she made sure and said that.
She said they got a great deal.
That means it's within budget. So it means they're adhering to all the things and being respectful to the people that have given this opinion.
And every place that has like alcohol being served, normally most venues that serve it are going to have a last call. Like they're going to have like a time where they stop serving it.
If you're 21 years old, it means you're an adult. And I get 21 years old nowadays is different.
You should also just be able to know.
You need to be responsible for yourself.
If I am one of those people traveling over an hour, okay, maybe I don't get sloshed. And maybe if I do, find a hotel and like book previous. And
if you can't afford a hotel or can't afford an Uber, then you don't need to be drinking
that much
to the excess. Right, exactly. Yeah.
Now, if it's one of those weddings where they don't allow people to bring their kids, which we've been to several of those, and those are totally fine. Mm-hmm. We as adults
doesn't sound like that's what's happening.
No, but I'm just saying, like as adults, we made arrangements for our children. We made driving arrangements for ourselves. We went. We had a grand time. We came home. We did what we needed to do. Like, I mean, it's just like we took care of. We wanted to go to the wedding to support the couple. Granted, it wasn't like an hour away.
We're empathetic human beings who know that this is somebody's special day.
Right. Like, if they want to be there,
it's to be there for the, it's the party's not for you.
It's for the wedding. It's for the couple.
Yes.
Not.
I hate to say this, and I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, I'm going to this wedding, I'm supposed to be catered to for the reception. No, that's not what it is. I'm sorry to say it. It's their day.
Yes.
The wedding is their ceremony to commit to each other for life, and then the reception is the celebration of that commitment.
And they want to share that with you.
Exactly. That does not mean you ruin their fucking day by making them have to plan around you. So let me help you with that, Tiffany. Cousin Ricky or whoever it is that's causing this issue, figure out how to fucking go and have a good time and get yourself home safely, or you're a fucking loser.
Well, I mean,
nope, that's it. You're a loser. You are a fucking problem, Cousin Ricky. I like this Cousin Ricky thing. I don't know why that popped in my head, but it's got to be some sort of extended outlier family member that you just have to fucking deal with at every barbecue, and they fucking get overly drunk and they start talking about politics or religion, and they're fucking assholes, and they don't think about anybody else but themselves. It just happens, right? Everybody's got those types of people, and that's where you have to have a healthy boundary. here's the deal. Parents are going to want to control things. We're going to always want to control things. I'm going to want to control things for my kids all the way through them being adults till I die. That's where you have to jump in, and hopefully your parents have supported you setting up healthy boundaries. This is a boundary. Mom, Dad, this is my day. Your position in this wedding, or whoever it is, your position in this wedding is valid. I appreciate all the support you're giving me. That's why I'm adhering to all the things that you've kind of set as your boundaries when it comes to supporting the wedding, even potentially financially. I'm doing those things. This is not an insane ask. This is what I love. This is what I want to be about. That person needs to figure it out. And I don't really want to have this conversation anymore. We're going to do this going forward. They need to figure that out.
Right. And if it is a budgetary thing, like, then find
but
something
it sounds like it's a good deal, though.
No, I know. But like, if it still is like at the very top of their budget for a venue place, find somewhere else to cut back on.
Yeah, but I still think it sounds like that's not the problem.
This area. No, I don't think so.
Cousin Ricky, you're fucking shit up. And I don't appreciate it. For Tiffany, number one, get your shit together. Like, do you really want to be the person that you're talking about on a fucking podcast show because you're an issue? You're a fucking obligation to somebody, and it has nothing to do with you. It's their wedding day.
I mean, it could also be like
sort your fucking life out, mate.
Situation.
Then they don't need to be drinking if they can't drive home.
No, that's true.
See, no matter where you go in this fucking maze, you don't get to the cheese if you're Cousin Ricky or Grandma Elsa.
I'm just saying, like, have a little.
No.
Okay.
No, it's ridiculous. This is one day for one couple.
Right.
It doesn't matter what it is. Be respectful of that day. It's not that hard.
I agree. You could be a little nicer in your delivery.
Fuck you, Cousin Ricky. So Tiffany, appreciate it. Hey, keep us up to date, Tiff, on what's going on with the wedding. If it's an open bar, shoot an invite our way. You can direct message us. I can get you our address. And, we'll show up. We'll have a good time. We'll talk about the shows. And I can have that conversation with Cousin Ricky if you want. That's no problem at all. I would absolutely, in a respectful, professional manner, we could discuss life decisions. Yeah. And I'd be absolutely fine with that.
But Tiffany, and to your partner,
congratulations.
We are completely in agreement. This is not a big ask for you and your wedding. And we hope that you have a beautiful wedding, beautiful ceremony, and we wish you all the happiness.
And I challenge you, Tiffany, be secure in your decisions. It sounds like you've done everything the right way. So that's where you stand up for yourself and you set that boundary. You don't have to be disrespectful by any means. This is what you want. This is your wedding day. It's important to you. You've adhered to the things that are important to other people. And this is where you set a healthy boundary that will take you into other facets of life. Yeah. Like, hey, it's my child's 1-year-old birthday party. Cousin Ricky doesn't need to fucking bring a fifth of whiskey, right? So this opens up things for conversations down the road where you don't have to have that headache. That relative, that family member, whoever's complaining about it, they know ahead of time. Tiffany's gonna support what Tiffany needs, and she's gonna be respectful of other people, but she's also not gonna be firm. And so I'm not even gonna bring this dumb shit that way. You'll see. So good luck to you in that. Keep us updated. Feel free to give us an update at any time. And again, like I said, you can direct message if there's an open board.
Blessings to you and yours.
That's right. Good job, bud.
I really hate it. The next questions that we got were
a wedding question was good, though. That was fun. And see, we can answer other questions. It doesn't just have to be about bickering about nicknames or things like that. We can talk about weddings. We had one.
We did.
We actually got kicked out of our church venue. We'll have to talk about that sometime.
We didn't get kicked out.
They told us it was time to go.
It was time.
With an hour left. It's fantastic. I wouldn't want to do it with any fucking other person in this whole wide world.
My favorite picture from our wedding reception is me with
the fifth of Patron with Uncle Jim.
And Jameson.
Yeah,
and
other middle of Rack City was playing at the time.
Rack City. Okay. Anyways, we've got 2 questions, but
So we're gonna jam these together.
Yeah, because I kind of just felt like they kind of.
You will read each one out, though, right?
Together.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So Tim wrote in to us and asked, "What is your best breakup advice to someone who has just been broken up with and who is hurting a lot?" And then Sydney, she sent in a question with, "How do you know when it's time to walk away?" And I kind of felt like those questions went together pretty seamlessly because
one's a get broken up with question and one's a I need to get out of this question.
But
I mean, they do meld together. You're
they
right.
also have to do with a lot of emotion. And so
You're right. That's a very good point.
when you're down to where Sydney is, where you're trying to figure out, is this the time to walk away?
Oh, Sid.
Is this where you're trying to either save yourself from heartbreak or save the other person? And to Tim, it's, clearly you were the one who was on the receiving end of it.
Tim was dumped hard.
But,
Sorry, Tim.
There are things to do that you could either look back on that relationship and learn from, and things to do to grow and get yourself out of that hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And put that hurt towards something more productive.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying don't take the time to feel what you need to feel.
So we're jumping into Tim getting dumped. Is that where we want to start?
I feel like we can kind of just talk about them together a little bit.
Well, we can talk about them together, but I do feel like we need to bring them up separately, because one's really about deciding whether you want to end a relationship or not. And then one is after the relationship's ended, how do you move forward? Or number one, how do you process that and deal with it? And then how do you move forward, right?
Yeah.
So where do we want, I mean, you're right. They meld together, but there is a timeline to this.
Okay, so let's go to Sydney's first.
Sydney's the one. Which one's Sydney? The one.
She's the one trying to decide, when do I walk away?
Oh, easy. You've already decided that.
I agree. If you're even contemplating it,
yes,
then Sydney, that's your answer.
Sydney, you're not doing your partner, well, soon to be ex-partner, any justice by going through the motions of figuring it out. If the concern is that, and I say that with bated breath, in the sense that it sounds like you're taking this very seriously, to the point where you're looking for other input on it. To me, that means you're already there. There's just things that you're questioning or concerned about happening after it happens. You can't do that.
Are you trying to save yourself, or are you trying to save the other person? And to me,
I think there's some guilt there. It sounds like to me, and I could be wrong, but it sounds like there's some guilt there. And I think anytime you're going to break up with somebody, it's having a difficult conversation. Having a difficult conversation is incredibly hard. We'd all prefer to run away from it.
Absolutely.
And that is human nature, right? Mm-hmm. But we think we're saving somebody by not having these conversations. And all we're doing is we're doing a ton of damage, because we're confusing them. Because sometimes you're in a good mood and you're around, you're going to send them mixed signals. You're creating a lot of harm by what you're doing. So actually, you're really doing something really selfish. And I say that from somebody who's done this, and has had it done too, because it is a really selfish thing. It does not do the other person. So if your intention truly is, I want to do the best thing possible, I want to make the right decision. Sounds like the right decision for you is to walk away. Mm-hmm. And I think that's good. Why?
Because whether or not you've had the conversation, there are signs that you're not in the relationship in the manner that you
you don't have both feet in that thing. No way.
So you're giving it off in the way you spend time with each other, the way you
may think you're masking it, you're not.
It is obvious. It's going to be in your body language.
Up.
It's going to be in your physical relationship, the mental.
Yeah, you're fucking. The more you're in this without ending it, you're fucking that person up. You're going to make this situation. How crazy would it be? Can I just say this right now? How crazy would this be if Sydney and what was the other guy's name? Tim? If Sydney and Tim were actually the ones that were together, and Sydney had broken up with Tim before she wrote this, but then she just decided to go through with it. She broke up with it, and then Tim wrote in, because it was days apart, right? Oh my God. Are we living drama on the podcast right now?
Why are you whispering?
I don't know. I just feel like it's very dramatic that way.
I don't think any of this
don't do that. So, but it is a good point. So somebody like Tim, who's wanting to obviously be in the relationship, obviously it sounds like to me Tim wasn't the one that wanted to break up, right? You're causing somebody like Tim a lot of harm in what you're doing.
You need to have some tact in the way you walk away from a
relationship. Just be a fucking human being. Just give him the straight answer. Tell him. You do need to give him a reason. I do think that it is appropriate.
You give them a reason at the time, but then after that, you don't owe them anything.
No. You got to be done. So but that's the thing, is a lot of times there's this elongated, we broke up, but let's continue to talk about it. It's because the person didn't give them what they did. If you do that and then they continue to try to hang on, that's where you have that nice healthy boundary up. Hey, I had the conversation. I don't feel the way for you that I did previously. I've changed as a person. Here's things about you that have changed. That just, it does not say long-term, lifelong partner to me. Or that's just not what I don't want to have a lifelong partnership. That's okay too. Yeah. Whatever you want, it is fucking okay. So don't fuck up the other person because you're not taking care of yourself or secure in what you want.
Right.
It's okay. And if they have a problem with it, it's their fucking problem after you come out the right way with them and end things respectfully.
And I would say, Tim, think about the things that you do want in a relationship going forward. Like,
be thankful, Tim. They did you a favor.
What about losing this person that broke up with you hurts so much? And
I think most of it's codependence. If I'm basing it off my relationships, Tim, a lot of it isn't so much that like that's who your soulmate is or who you need to be with. It is, I am so used to being with them. I just need to be with them. And that's a selfish thing too. Being codependent on somebody, that's an unfair ask. You're asking that person just to be there for you because that brings you some sort of comfort or dopamine hit or whatever it is. It's a psychological thing that you're hung up on. That's not fair to that person either. And so they're doing you a favor by ending it. Now, I've been in that spot where I did not look at it that way and curse the person who left me, and you're gonna wish you hadn't have done that. And man, I tell you, no matter what,
get a new hobby.
That feeling always ends. There's a beginning to everything, and there's always an end, no matter what. And when you're in horrible emotional distress, you can't see it that way. That's what the terrible thing about anxiety and depression is. You think it's never ending.
Gave up for,
but it ends.
Time with that person, and get back into a hobby or something that takes care of you, and that you'll notice that hurt and that like wallowing period will end very quickly because you're focused on yourself and your growth and your life and what you want, not what somebody else wants. And I think that'll help you a lot.
This too shall pass.
Amen.
Good and the bad. This too shall pass. So appreciate the things when they're going well. Try to accentuate them and maximize them as much as you can. Do the things that got you there, so you're having those types of times more consistently than the bad. And then know that when you're in the shit, and I say this from experience, it may seem like you're never going to get out of it and there's no other way out of it, but it ends. So it'll be okay, Tim. I feel for you, buddy. And continue to keep us updated on how you're doing on the show. And now take the time to focus on yourself, because if you're in an unhealthy spot after a breakup, which I think is very I'll get to Sid. Don't worry. Oh, okay. It'll be good. I promise. I'm not just shitting on Sydney because she wants to break up. I think that's actually a great thing too. I think both people, one wanting to get help and move forward and deal with what's going on.
Maybe we should match Sydney and Tim. Oh, maybe they weren't the ones breaking up with each other. Maybe they were. Maybe they should go together.
And this is why you are my rosebud. Okay. Because you are the fucking idea queen. And you're absolutely right. You're right. It's preposterous to think that likely two people broke up with our limited audience and then both wrote into the show. Highly doubtful, unless they were both fans. However, maybe Sydney, if you're interested, or Tim, once you're starting to feel better and you kind of get the breakup cobwebs off of you, let us know if you guys would be interested in a blind date. Now, granted, I have no idea where you're from. You gave us no indication of that. Nope. And we have people now all over the U.S. and all over the world, actually. We're in 20 plus countries. So we could try to make that happen. But I will say, Sydney, do things the right way and end it appropriately. Yeah. Make sure that they at least have an opportunity at closure. You can't do for the other person.
The way they
but if you give them all the information in a respectful manner that's appropriate, the likelihood of them being able to have closure is good. If they don't, that's on them. They have to work through that. Do not feel bad for them. Don't hang around for them because you're actually doing them a disservice.
Yeah.
Tim, that person did you a favor.
Yep.
Take the time to focus on yourself.
Yep.
It's going to feel shitty at times. Work through it. A lot of it's yourself. And guys, again, counseling. I will continue to be a proponent of that on the show. If you can there's so many methods now online and in person that you can go and talk through these things with somebody that's probably much more qualified than Emily and I. But Emily and I have just been through these things and experienced them, right? Unless we helped you today, which then legally, then we helped you.
No,
so
that's not how that works.
Bud, I got this. Okay. So anyway, legally, we helped you if it helped. If it did not, legal disclaimer, we didn't have anything to do with that. So with that being said, I said it. Damn it. I said I wasn't going to say that on the show today.
Yeah.
Shit. Damn it. Sorry. You guys are doing the right things. It's good that you wanted to process. The fact that you even asked and wanted to try to process through these things or make sure you're doing the right thing says you're a good human being and you're on the right track. So just take it from us as far as our experiences, formulate that into the best decision, best action that you can make, and then start moving forward and take care of yourselves. And then make sure if you're choosing another partner down the road, just make sure you're taking the time to like really assess what you want in a partner and make sure that, you know, you're getting through all that and really having healthy boundaries up of what you want and don't compromise.
No, for either of you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good job, bud.
Thanks, doll.
It's time.
Yeah, that's it. That's it for our...
All right, we don't even have to say it's it. It's time.
No, I really don't want to talk.
It's time.
It's not.
It's time. Audience,
This is not even
if you need a second, I'll give you 10 seconds. You want to go get some popcorn, grab yourself a drink, maybe a nice glass of rosé or a lovely, fantastic, crisp, beer-tasting beer, garage beer.
No, this is...
We got some storytelling to do. And I actually, did you bring in the fact? Yes, you did. You saucy little minx. You brought in all the facts that I wrote out. Thank you.
You've already had them written out. I had nothing to do with this segment. I want nothing at all to do with this segment.
It was a crisp August evening. It was
August.
It was definitely August. It was August or September. It was definitely getting close to fall. It was still hot though, you know. Like it was just like anyway, it was unseasonably warm. And
I don't think so.
There was a weirdness, a dew in the air, if you will. I felt something was off. I'm going to be honest about that. Something seemed off with you. You seemed very eager to get on the television, and I didn't quite understand why. And that's when Emily introduced me to Bridgerton. And if you guys don't know what Bridgerton is, I'll gladly educate you on this because it has been haunting me now for multiple months. It has made me feel inferior as a lover. It has made me question my manhood. I look at myself in the mirror naked every morning, and I say to myself, could you ever even be a Bridgerton? Probably not. Then I get in the shower and I usually weep for a good 10 to 15 minutes and then I start my day. And that's what Emily has done with some of the decisions that she has made watching the show. So let's break this down a little bit. Actually, I'm being a selfish asshole here. Here I am bombarding this situation. This was your betrayal. So I guess this is probably the best time to let you have the floor for a moment. Would you like to talk about what the show Bridgerton is or how you got into it or why you love it more than me?
I don't love it more than you.
Okay.
But Kylie was the reason I got into it.
Kylie Willis, our realtor?
No.
Okay, I was about to say, and no longer a sponsor on the show is Kylie Willis.
No.
Kylie Willis is a real estate agent for Keller Williams.
Aunt Kylie.
Oh. Uncle Zach's Aunt Kylie. Aunt Kylie, our Aunt Kylie.
Yeah. She
does like her historical fiction smut. Love you, Aunt Kylie. Shout out to Aunt Kylie.
I don't think she reads as much smut as you think she
Well,
does.
it's not smut. But it's like romance. When I say smut, I'm just joking around. But it's romance, right? It's like historical romance fiction. It's not nonfiction, but it's like based off a period of history that is factual. And sometimes there's some groping and touching and talking to the penises and the vaginas.
Wow. Excessive. And I don't know. I don't know.
We'll have to have Aunt Kylie on the show someday to break that down.
God, I feel like I already owe her
I love Aunt Kylie.
Apology.
She's the best. She's an amazing human being.
No, she and somebody else told me about the show long before it had gotten to where
because it was book. It's books, right?
Yes.
You didn't, and I know you didn't know that until we ran in. We were at the Painted Tree, and they had a couple books. Yeah,
and I didn't know that they were books, and I thought it was legit just a TV show on Netflix. But I just got bored one day. It had to have been summer. It had to have been the summertime because that's the only like free time I would have had.
Well, that's not necessarily true. I mean, all married couples can sit around and watch a TV show at night when they should be going to bed. And that's kind of what we were doing, right? We were trying to started watching Bridgerton, and specifically this episode, season 3, episode 5. And it's
I had watched the first. I didn't realize.
And you caught me up pretty good because I kind of watched most of the first season myself.
Like every season had a certain couple that they followed. Now, I'm not saying like this third season was by far like the most steamiest.
It's sexual as
But
fuck.
the first season was like, holy crap.
You want to
like,
spice up the bedroom a little bit, and you want some visual support in that? Bridgerton's
children.
not a bad way to go.
No, but the first
What's the show?
season just didn't seem...
That's fair. What's the show about? I guess that's probably a good place to start. Just give a quick
like
synopsis.
A family called the Bridgertons.
And they're like, they're high in Victorian society. They're highfalutin. They're the Rockefellers of the British Victorian world during that time.
And they're all like affiliated with the Ton, as it's called, like the royalty or whatever.
Yeah, and they have a relationship with the Queen.
Yeah.
At the time, and
it's like Gossip Girl meets Downtown Abbey.
Downton Abbey. That's really fucking love that. God, you're so hot right now when you just did that.
No,
that's hot.
Good Lord.
You know, I love a good mashup reference.
Like Lady Whistledown is the character in season 3,
and she's like A in Gossip Girl, right? Is it A? What's the name of the person in Gossip Girl? This is Gossip Girl. Okay, yeah. So she's Gossip Girl.
Yeah. A
but
is,
Victorian time.
I'm pretty sure A comes from Pretty
Little Liars, sorry. Yeah. Which was also a note person, right? Didn't they write?
I don't know. I never actually finished that series.
Fair enough. Sorry, we're getting off in the weeds here. Continue. So it's about this family. They follow them around. They're rich as fuck. So they're just going and living their best Kardashian lives in Victorian era.
Courted. Like they all have to like get married.
So it's about relationships and they get together. So lots of sex.
There's a lot of it.
Lots of sex and lots of drama. And
not so much
in
drama,
classic relationship fashion, there's a lot of not telling the truth about things and posturing and acting like what you are, but you're not. Yeah. And I think everybody can appreciate that. So there's actually elements to the show. I will say, if there's guys out there, and there's plenty of guys out there, and I'm sure there's girls out there too, they see that and they're like, I'm not going to watch that shit, fucking girl shit or whatever. Like, it's stupid. It's a good show. It's got plenty of shit going on in it that I think any person could find entertaining. And then if you like beautiful naked men and women, it's not a bad place to go.
You don't really see a whole lot of nakedness. Not as much as... Okay, anyway.
Okay. So now that everybody's got a breakdown of the show, can we talk about the incident that changed probably our marriage for forever? Bud, look at me. Look at me. If we're going to heal through this, we have to talk through this, okay?
Fuck you.
Okay. All right. So, Bud, what happened to us?
Apparently Bridgerton.
God damn it. Tim, Tim, you need a roommate? Might have to. I'm just kidding. Okay. So, Season 3, Episode 5 specifically, just so if anybody wants to check this out, it's about 14 minutes and 8 seconds into the episode. So basically what's happened is Lady Whistledown, she has been friends with, is he a Bridgerton?
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the Bridgerton boys, which is like the playboy of the show, you can't rope him down. Yeah. You can't rope him down. He's out fucking everybody and everything.
Had a glow up.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, she is going to potentially marry somebody else. And then he's like, oh my God, I actually care for this girl who's been my friend forever. I'm actually into her.
Yeah.
And no, that's not going to happen. So then they basically they get in a carriage. He performs sexual acts on her. So then that means in Victorian era, that means you've got to get engaged.
Out of the blue.
Yep. And so they got to get engaged because they did stuff.
That she was going to settle for got ruined.
Yes. Yeah. And then on top of that, so now they're engaged. They go up to this empty room in this house, and she's looking in a mirror, and she is having some body image issues. Okay, fair. She's having some body image issues, and he comes up and tells her how beautiful she is, and then they basically just right from there just jump right into him taking her virginity, and not just taking it, stealing it hard. Okay. So I talk during shows and movies. That's why I fucking talk here. Right. So I'm talking away. I'm like, oh my God, this is getting really intense. Well, I noticed about 2 minutes into me talking that it's just me talking and I'm getting no response back. And so he's banging away, and I mean aggressively. And I'm just like, you know what I mean? And I look over and Emily's like this. And I'm talking to her while she's like this. And I'm saying, are you okay, babe? Are you all right? I thought maybe there was a seizure or a stroke of some sort. And finally, I'm like, Emily. And she kind of comes to. The light goes back into her eyes. She comes back from the underworld, and a big piece of saliva just flies gently out of her mouth. She was so satiated by the sexual activity and the thought of being pleasured in a way that clearly I have never pleasured her, that saliva exited her mouth. It said, I don't want to be in here anymore. It is way too steamy in here. I've got to fucking leave.
I just forgot.
And that's when I realized in that moment, that would be about 16 to 17 minutes into the episode, that I would never pleasure my wife in a way that Bridgerton just pleasured her. And I hope there's people out there that can relate to that. Okay. And it's a question and it's a journey that I have to take every single day for the rest of my life. And I will never be what Bridgerton has been to my wife. I'm going to try. I'm going to try to make love to you Bridgerton-esque every day of your life when we're able to again. And I'm going to do my best. Okay. Well, when you're done healing. Would you like to?
First of all,
because we're getting close on time here. We got to wrap up the show, and but I want to be respectful of you responding to this. But I feel like I've provided all the factual information that's needed for the audience.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so very much for the absolute humiliation. There's a lot of sex in Bridgerton. However, this was so shocking to me because I didn't expect it. And
that was clear.
It was by far the most intimate, I
felt like
situation.
we were all making love at that moment.
Didn't realize that they went that far.
Just say it gave you something that you never knew you didn't have.
I didn't know that could be shown on TV. I just didn't know that it could go that.
Do you have any regrets? I guess that's probably my first question.
Watching the show with you, absolutely.
Oh, I enjoy watching it with you, even if it makes me feel less than.
We're good.
Oh, we are. Okay.
Promise.
So I would say if we're good with this, we probably should be good with Bud. Huh?
No, we're not good.
Let's negotiate this out. That's a recommendation. Don't do that. We don't do scorekeeping in relationships. Don't do it. However, she did do something horrible to me. She perceives I did something horrible to her by making a great nickname. However, we all know that it was very, very sentimental and very thoughtful. So let's just call it good, right?
With what?
The nickname, and then I'll move on from the show.
We can move on from the show because it's way long ago and
that's
not
my girl,
important.
Bud. I love it. Okay, so we moved on. You heard it here, right? Live on the show. It could be live. You don't know. Right on the show, and I think that's going to do it for today. Goddamn, this was a great journey.
So humiliating.
This was emotional. There's nothing to be humiliated about. Somebody did something for you that fucking your ride or die couldn't, and I think that's important to celebrate. So shout out to Bridgerton, shout out to Garage Beer, shout out to Kylie Willis and Aunt Kylie. Thank you for introducing the show to my wife and integrating yourself in our marriage in a way I never thought you could. We love you, babe. So, Bud, it's time to wrap up the show. Again, everybody a part of the Do We Have To crew. Thank you for waiting on us to get another episode out. Thank you for being a part of this. Thank you for all the likes, shares, and subscribes that we've been getting lately. Thank you for all the questions on the show. It has been awesome, and we're going to continue to bring this to you. Just make sure that you're visiting our website, dowehavto.com. Our biggest place where we live is YouTube, obviously. So like, share, and subscribe YouTube, and it's at Do We Have To podcast, marriage podcast. But we're also on pretty much every social media that's important, or at least that people actually want to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and Threads. Now we're at do.we.have.to. At TikTok, we're at Do We Have To Marriage Pod. On X, we're at Do We Have To Pod. And again, please submit a question. You can submit questions on any of those socials. I'll grab it. The thing is, we're definitely been gearing up in popularity as far as people reaching out to us, but I still think we're we're getting close, but we're still at a point where I can kind of keep up on those things. So if you want to ask us questions through there, definitely do. And then for our website though, that's the best way, because then we get notified on it that there's a question, and it gives you an actual format to do. So please continue bringing all this to us. Thank you again so much for listening. For our folks out in the Midwest, we've got other snowstorms on the way, so batten down the hatches this evening, and we'll be back here soon with more content and more videos, and just be on the lookout. We love you all. Thank you. Do You Have to Crew? Bud, you're everything to me.
Wake up, I'm about to shake up every little thing, show you all that we can be. Come dance in my club.